Hello, this is a Stellar Quines interview with Sylvia Dow, playwright, regarding the Heritage Lottery funded project Knit Two Together.
You know, I was talking to Muriel Romanis, who's the director of Stellar Quines, of course, and she was talking about knitting and talking about when she was an actor and how everyone used to knit during rehearsal breaks, particularly in filming. She was in a long-running soap called Take the High Road, and everyone knitted. And in rehearsals for plays as well, if you weren't actually on, you knitted or you crocheted or sewed or whatever. But then things changed so that rehearsals became more intense, and even if you weren't on stage at the time, you had to focus on everything that was happening, and knitting is now forbidden in rehearsals, unfortunately. And that's how it started. It started about conversations about knitting, really. I've heard lots of stories, but the interesting thing, I think, are the stories that are underneath the stories, or the stories that come beyond the stories. One of the most interesting things that I heard about Hawick is the baby thing, is what I'm calling to myself, the baby thing. For years now, people in Hawick have been, women particularly, have been very keen on knitting for babies. And at one time, and to a certain extent still today, they knit for new babies. They will knit the complete set, you know, the matinee jacket, as it's called, the whole thing, the hat, the cot cover, the pram cover. And the pram cover is very important because here in Hawick, people retain the old silver cross prams, these great big high prams. And on a Saturday, they get their babies all kitted out in all that gear and put them in their silver cross prams. And they walk them around town, a sort of pasada, if you like, and all talk to each other and look at what each other's baby has. One woman said to me that every week she knitted a whole new set for her baby so that she wouldn't lose face the following Saturday. And I think that's fascinating. Well, we hope to achieve several outcomes. The most tangible outcome, if you like, I suppose, is a play, which I will write. I haven't written a word yet, of course, but I will write, and I have got some ideas about it now after a few weeks. But the other thing is the research into knitting and into the textile industry here in the Borders, which we've done, both Muriel and I. That has been fascinating. And once something is researched, it's there forever. The play will have a reading here in Heart of Hawick in this very theatre in October, and then in the following year it will be developed further and go into full production and hopefully tour. But there's an extra outcome, which is the knitting group we set up, which has set up a real sense of fellowship amongst the knitters of Hawick. It's just odd that in a town which is so famous for textiles, and indeed for hand knitting, there hasn't been a knitting group up until now, so I do hope it has a further life after us. When modern women talk about careers and so on, I think sometimes it's forgotten that women have always worked. Working class women have always worked. My mother worked. They worked because they had to, and I don't think they found it, they would necessarily say it was empowering, because often the work was repetitive and not very interesting. I'd like to ask these ladies if they agree with me, and I'll let you know.